I think one of the things that I've learned about iPhone photography, and I think the part that's really drawing me to it, is it allows me to not only take a photo in an environment or circumstance that I don't think I ever would, but it actually allows me to see the photo. It allows me to see things in a way that I don't think I've really ever seen before. Like, I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, wait, I can actually take a photo. And then I will. All right, folks, color me impressed. Let's talk about my iPhone. Now, before anybody comments, how are you so late to the party? I've never been much of a party guy. I've always been the one late to the parties. Let's just put it that way. I never really took iPhone photography seriously, and I never really looked into it as any sort of option for me, especially when it comes to daily, everyday, not mundane, but normal everyday life photography, which is a genre that I don't really do all that much. But I think the reason why I don't really do it is equipment. And for whatever reason, just using my phone never really occurred to me, to be honest. I just never thought that it would, satisfy or provide any sort of, really cool photos that I'd actually be happy with. And I decided to go ahead and do some tests with it. And I am very pleasantly surprised. So I want to show you guys some of these examples, bearing in mind I've only been playing with this for 2-3 days, but it's gotten me so excited and interested that I still wanted to make a video about it. So I just want to show you guys some photos and talk about why I still think that the iPhone 12 or any older iPhone is still a fantastic camera, and it's something that I want to play around with more. I think what I really love about it is the fact that you can just be doing whatever and you'll see something that, yeah, maybe you would take a photo if you had a camera or whatnot, but chances are you wouldn't. And chances are that it opens the door for more photos. And I think, especially in today's world with AI and all this kind of stuff, I think it's more important now than ever to use whatever you have and continue to make real things and find real things that you couldn't just think of. You couldn't just think of and throw into a prompt. That's not what real life is. The real life is all about, finding weird things and funny things happening, random things happening, where you just see the light hitting an object in a weird way or an interesting way, and you just want to take a photo. And those happen so much more often than we think. And in my experience, we never take photos of them. As a photographer, as someone who really enjoys taking photos, I never take those photos because I never really have a camera on hand to do so. And that's something that I really, I guess really naively, I'm going to have to be honest with myself and kind of kick myself a little bit, because I was very naive about this. Like, this object that I'm using on a daily basis, why can't it be, what I use to take just really spontaneous photos? And, because I'm someone who does like quality, and I'm someone who does like photos that, have a certain look to them. And I love Lightroom editing, and I love video editing, and, all of this kind of stuff. I guess I just never really thought that it would be as satisfying to edit a photo from an iPhone. And I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong. Some of the photos that I took in the past 3 days, they're not my favorite photos in the world or anything like that, but they're cool and they look fantastic. And I think they've really allowed me to take photos of things that I never really had the guts to do before. Like, I'm a big car guy. I have a dream of owning a Porsche. And a lot of times when I see really cool cars in the street, I naturally get drawn to them. And I want to take photos of them because I find that very interesting and fun, and figure out ways to make just a normal parked car interesting. Has always been a challenge for me because I've always been too nervous of just pulling my camera out and being a little bit kind of invading somebody else's privacy, because it is their car. That's always, especially in the city, I've always been a little bit weird about that. But using my phone, that fear kind of got completely erased, because even if somebody does see me or whatnot, it's not that big a deal. I'm not taking photos of their license plate or anything like that. I'm just taking photos of like different angles of the logo and, trying to find cool compositions. But it's just so seamless. The experience feels very seamless. And I knew that experience was there, but I didn't know that the quality could meet the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? I thought like, okay, well, I would take maybe some, it would be like fun to be able to take some photos, but I would then get back home, go into my editing suite, and I'd be like, nah, there's no way I'd ever post this on Instagram or anything like that. And that's just not true. The photos came out. I'm very, very impressed. Let's just put it that way. I'm really was not expecting to enjoy, the editing process of taking of these photos. I was not expecting to enjoy any of the results. But I am, and I'm very pleasantly surprised with how these photos turned out. And this is with the iPhone 12 Pro. This is not the 17. This is not the 16, 15. This is, the first one that I think that, had RAW capabilities and whatnot. And it's still punching photos like this. And I'd like to tap myself on the back a little bit. Maybe that means that I know enough about Lightroom, and I know enough about editing, and I know enough about photography in general and taking photos and finding the right kind of compositions. And so when you know more about your craft, then the camera becomes less of an issue, I hope. But I also think that, the cameras themselves are actually much better than I gave them credit for. So in conclusion, is the iPhone going to replace my main camera? No. Absolutely not. I would trust my main camera with pretty much any circumstances more than I would trust the iPhone. Having said that, it has made me not want to go pick up a smaller, I think the Ricoh G. Oh God, what's it called? I'll put it on the screen here. But I was considering maybe getting one of those type of cameras, but I don't think I am anymore. I think when I go ahead and get the latest iPhone and things like that. But even until then, this will do perfectly fine. I don't feel the need for finding a small little pocket camera for everyday scenarios, because that is now what I have. And I think that's already amazing that phones have been able to come this far to become that. That's pretty insane, and it's only going to get better. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys next week.